Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will share with you my third card collaboration challenge with my crafty BFF Sintang Mayumi. Our stamp set for this month is the bun intended from the Ink Road stamps. This is my very first stamp from this company, and this is actually a gift from my friend Alma. To be honest, I had a hard time thinking about card designs using this stamp set. There are only a few images and one sentiment included here, but I did come up with a few designs that I will show here. I went for clean and simple designs this time, so I hope you enjoy this video. So for my first card, I am also using a stamp from C6 called Florals and Fences. So I have Canson watercolor paper here, and I just took the floral images and inked it with VersaFine ink, and with the use of my Mini Misty, so I can also double stamp it for a clearer image. I will be heat embossing this with clear embossing powder that I have in my stash. It's from Recollections, and heat it with a heat gun. Then next I will do the same to stamp the girl image using the same process, using VersaFine ink and the clear embossing powder from Recollections. So after all the embossing powder has melted and shiny, I will move on to the next process, which is ink blending using 3 Distress Oxide inks: Pink Raspberry, Abundant Coral, and Wild Honey. So using my ink blending tools, I will be starting on the right side using Wild Honey, then moving on to Abundant Coral in the middle, then to Pink Raspberry to the left side. I just wanted to create a simple blended tricolor background here, and I just go back and forth with the blending until I am happy with it. For me, the best paper to use for ink blending is watercolor paper. The blending tools glide beautifully across the panel, and it's easier for me to blend the colors. Then with the same stamp set, I will be using the sentiment that says "You are beautiful." So I stamped this with a Versamark ink and heat set with white embossing powder this time. Then using a die from Tonic Studios Rectangle Mix Edge die, I will die cut my sentiment with one of the smallest scallop edge rectangle die. Then I will pop this up with a double-sided tape. But before attaching the sentiment, I trimmed down this panel just a tiny bit smaller than an A2 size card so I can have a white mat. Then I pop up the sentiment on the right bottom side. Then finally, I use embellishment from the Ton, but I don't know the name of this. It looks like tiny droplets, water droplets, and I put 5 all around the panel using craft glue. So that is about it for this card. I went for a clean and simple encouragement card for this one. So that's my card number 1. For card number 2, I will use a stencil from Heidi Swap called Spray Stencil. I tape my 4 1/4 and 5 1/2 Bristol paper on my glass mat, then my stencil on top. So I'm just showing you the placement of my image here. I will randomly ink the bottom portion of this panel using Distress Oxide inks Salty Ocean, Twisted Citron, and Cracked Pistachio. This is my first time to use this stencil that I got from Tuesday Morning a long time ago, so I really don't know how it will look like after I lift off the stencil. So after I removed the stencil, I really liked how it turned out, but I wanted to mute the white parts of the panel, so I lightly ink blended the whole panel again with Twisted Citron. So here I just keep blending the colors until I'm satisfied with the result, and I think it turned out better than the first time. Then here I just got another white cardstock panel where I'll be stamping the girl image on the upper left side corner. So I'm using my stamping platform to stamp the image. I will be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I think I'm gonna stamp this a couple of times to get a clearer image. So here I will just use a curved edge die from LDRS Creative and die cut the panel about half across. Then I will quickly color the girl image using my Copic markers. I'm only using 3 colors for the hair, E50 as the lightest, E13 as my mid color, and E19 as the darkest. So I'll just keep blending it until I'm happy with it. Same with the skin, using 3 colors, E000, E00, and E11. For an added element on that white panel, I'll be stamping brush strokes images from a Simon Says Stamp card kit stamp set using the same 3 Distress Oxide inks I used with the stencil. I love using my Tim Holtz stamp platform because it helps me restamp images whenever I don't get it right the first time. Then from a Hero Art stamp set, I will add the sentiment word happy on top of the brush strokes. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink here and heat set it to speed up the drying. And with a birthday sentiment here, I will ink it up with Versamark ink on a block cardstock and use Ranger White embossing powder. I prep my block cardstock with my embossing bag to prevent any stray powder. Then I will trim this piece and cut a fishtail on one end, pop it up with a foam tape, and put it just below the word happy. Here I'm just using my T-square ruler to make sure that it's all lined up properly. So here I have a fun foam and I'll just cut a piece so I can add dimension on this white panel. So now I'm just attaching this white panel on the stenciled background. Now I'm ready to add this panel to my card base, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 side folding card base. For a final touch, I have this bow bunny sequins. I chose different sizes and put some on some of the flower image I stenciled on the background. And that's it. That finishes off this card. This is my card number 2. For card number 3, I have this heavyweight 45-pound vellum, and I cut it with the largest stitch rectangle die from Lawn Fawn. Then I will put this vellum in my stamp platform so I can stamp again the girl image using Versamark ink. Again, I am using my embossing powder bag to prevent stray powder. Here I am using Ranger embossing powder in gold, and I'm gonna heat set this with my heat tool until it's shiny and melted. Then I have this craft pattern paper from my stash, and using an oval die from Elizabeth Craft Designs as a guide, I will die cut the pattern paper, creating a window so the girl image will be highlighted. And to add texture, instead of leaving it neatly cut, I actually just rip off the sides of the paper so it will appear distressed. Then using a blending tool, I added some vintage photo distress ink all around the pattern paper for a more distressed look. So now using the alphabets from C16 Lit's alphanumeric die set, I will die cut the word beautiful 3 times on a black cardstock, except the letter U, which I will be using a gold cardstock. So here I'm just gluing down 3 die cuts per letter on top of each other to create dimension. So here I'm just preparing my card base. This is a craft cardstock I got from Joann's. It's 110 pound weight, so it's pretty thick. I cut it to get an A2 size side folding card base. So now I'm putting double-sided tape on the pattern paper so I can attach it to the vellum panel. I am using a brown fun foam to adhere the vellum panel to add more dimension, and just using the soft part of my scissors, I was just trying to make sure it's firmly glued together. Then using my T-square ruler to ensure proper alignment, I attach the word beautiful on the left side of the girl image. Then I have another piece of white cardstock that I am adhering inside a card where I will be stamping a sentiment that will say, "I just wanted to say you're amazing." Now I'm ready to adhere my completed panel on the front side of the card base. And finally, using some gold sequins from Simon Says Stamp, I added some on the vellum part of the card. And that finishes off card number 3. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video card collaboration with my crafty BFF Sintang Mayumi. Please go over to her channel if you haven't done so. And again, thank you all so much for watching and liking my videos. I appreciate all the comments, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more of my upcoming videos. And I really hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!